Hi everyone, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗍 here. I've been using the Xbox Series X for over a month now. I've integrated into my living room TV setup, and I've been playing games like 𝗖𝗛𝗏 2077, some of my favorite titles from past years, as well as Xbox Game Pass, and I've really been enjoying the overall experience. My friends at Best Buy Canada sent me this console to check out, as well as sponsor this video, but all thoughts and opinions on the Series X are my own, based on my own personal testing and experiences. Best Buy also wanted me to let you know that they have all the latest tech that you need for the newest generation of consoles and their accessories to games and everything else. Best Buy has you covered. For the latest and greatest tech, head to the Best Buy website at the link in the description. Okay, so for my TV and entertainment setup here, I really wanted to have the Xbox on display because, well, I like the design. So I got a super long HDMI cable, wired it behind my shelf, down through my baseboards and into the TV around back. It gives some distance between the TV and the console and highlights the minimal design. Now, the Series X, as you know, doesn't really look like a lot, and that's a good thing. It's a clean box so you can position vertical or horizontal, and it's super understated except for the top with all of these holes for air, and there's a slight green accent inside of these rings as well. It makes it look like there's green LEDs inside when there's actually not, and it's a really cool effect even when the Xbox is off. Of course, design is subjective, but after having it in my living space for this long, I'm not sick of it, and I really do like the design. Oh, and the Series S is also quite beautiful. Up front, there's a disc drive if you prefer physical discs or Blu-ray discs, a traditional USB port, although I would have preferred USB-C for future-proofing, and a range of I/O around back, including a high-speed HDMI output for 4K gaming up to 120 frames per second, and you can also game in 8K, and for HDR-capable TVs, there's HDR gaming. You can also plug in a storage expansion card in the back slot, or traditional SSDs in the USB port to expand the storage as well, if you'd like. The console itself has a custom optimized 1TB SSD, which is crazy fast for starting up, loading your titles, and actually playing them. And playing games with the updated Xbox controller, I really have no complaints. Visually, the design hasn't really changed much from the previous version, meaning you could have this and an older controller side by side, and the differences wouldn't be too drastic. But there are changes though. There's more grip and texture all around, a new button for easy capturing of moments in your gaming, and a USB-C port. Now the controller does still use AA batteries, which I'm not really a fan of, but you could always grab the battery pack instead if you don't feel like swapping out batteries. About a month later, I still haven't drained my first set of AA's. Okay, enough talk. Actually gaming, the most important part of the console, is amazing. The Xbox turns on and is ready to go within just a few short seconds. And the resume playing feature is fantastic for jumping right back into a game where you left off. I really wanted to push the Xbox and test it out as much as I possibly could before actually making this video, so I played through the entirety of 𝗖𝗛𝗏 2077, which is quite an intensive game. Everything plays beautifully here. I beat the main story and a whole bunch of side missions, and even with all the vehicles and crazy buildings and battles, not a single time did I have any issues with the frame rate or really hear the fan either. Now of course, to be fair, the console is a ways away from my couch, I'm not sitting next to it, but I still couldn't hear anything except my game. 𝗖𝗛𝗏 has been a lot of fun to play and just driving around doing side missions throughout the city. I know there's been a few reports about some bugs and glitches here and there with this game, but from my testing, besides an occasional NPC flying across the screen, I've really had no problems with this game. It's been a pretty solid experience, and with the huge map, the crazy buildings, there's so much detail, all the cars in this game, it's just such a dope concept. I also of course got GTA 5, one of my favorite games of all time, and it hasn't aged a bit. It's somehow at this point an 8-year-old game, but it feels like it was released just yesterday. It's incredible. Titles on Game Pass are also fantastic. Having access to a huge growing library of pretty well-respected games is kind of the dream. Plus, being able to play them on your phone as well, that's kinda sweet. I've been wanting to dive into No Man's Sky forever, and since a lot of the new updates, it's become quite a solid title that's a lot of fun to play. And finally, the user interface, while not very different from the previous generation, is easy to use and adapt to. It's clean, it's minimal, simple to find things. I really have no complaints here. It's quite fluid and smooth, and if you're looking for games or movies or TV shows, everything is easy to find and search for. Besides gaming, the Xbox is also a solid entertainment device as well for streaming movies, watching TV shows, Netflix shows, YouTube videos, Blu-ray discs. You can do pretty much everything. I haven't really personally used it as my main set-top box for a long period of time, pretty much just for gaming, but if this is your sole set-top box, you're really gonna have no complaints. It does a lot of things well. Okay, so at this point, I've owned quite a few consoles throughout my life, but the Series X is the first console I feel genuinely excited to sit down and use after a long day of school or work, and it's just a great way to relax. There's little to no wait times, everything feels insanely smooth from the user interface to actually playing games, and games from the highest end down to more classic titles all perform insanely well. And I know Game Pass isn't the newest thing at this point, but that alone is one thing that makes this console such a joy to use. I can try new titles every single day without having to actually commit to buying the full game. It's amazing and feels like the future. Plus, it's a console that just looks excellent in my opinion. It's not something you really want to hide or stick in a shelf where no one can see it, it's just a beautiful object. Microsoft kinda killed it here with the industrial design. So if you're looking to buy the Series X, maybe some accessories, other tech essentials, definitely check out Best Buy for all the latest and greatest tech. They got you covered. Huge thank you to Best Buy Canada once again for sponsoring this video. They're amazing. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on the Series X. Do you have one of these? What's your experience been like? Do you like the design? I want to hear your thoughts. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and thank you for watching.